All right, today we're going to look at Pythagorean Theorem. So Pythagorean Theorem is where we're given a right triangle, and the sum of the squares of the lengths of the legs is equal to the square of the length of the hypotenuse. So on a triangle, this is where we're going to be looking for the missing side. We're given one triangle. It's going to be a right angle triangle. We're given two legs on our base and then our height of the triangle, and then our slant is our hypotenuse. So here's our formula: a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Our a and our b are going to be our legs. These are interchangeable. And then our hypotenuse is going to be our c. And then this will always be, our hypotenuse will always be c. It's always across from our 90-degree angle. So let's look at solving some problems. So number one, says find the missing length and round to the nearest tenth. So first up is to label the triangle. What's A, what's B, and what's C. So first I start with my hypotenuse. So it's the angle, the 90-degree angle is going right across. It's going to be my C. So that's my hypotenuse. And then 12 and 5 will be my A and my B. And again, it doesn't matter what you label A and B, but the C does matter. And that's always going to be across from your 90-degree angle. Then we're going to plug in our numbers. We have 12 squared plus 5 squared equals c squared. And then we're going to type it into our calculator. So 12 squared plus 5 squared is 169. So we have 169 equals 12 squared, and we can't leave it with a c squared. So under a square, we do what's called a square root. So we're going to square root 169, and so we get 13. So c equals 13. All right, number two, we have 9 and 9. So again, we need a label what's A, what's B, and what's C. I always start with my hypotenuse, which is my C. So this time we're looking for C again. And then we have A and B. So we'll plug it all into our formula. So we have 9 squared plus 9 squared equals C squared. We'll type it into our calculator. So 9 squared plus 9 squared is 162. And again, we cannot leave it with an 169 equals c squared. So we're going to square root it to get rid of that c squared. And so c equals 12.7. All right, number three. So again, first thing is label what's A, what's B, and what's C. So my hypotenuse is C. Then we have A and B. So anytime we are looking for C, we are going to add our A squared plus B squared together. So we have 10 squared plus 13 squared, which is 269. And then we'll square root it. And so we get C is equal to 16.4. So now let's look at somewhere we're not looking for C. So for number 4, same thing, find the missing side. So again, label. So there's my hypotenuse. So C is 25. And then we label the other two sides. And it doesn't matter what you label A, what you label B. So we'll plug it into our formula. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Then we'll replace the letters with numbers. And this time C will have a number. So since we're looking for B, solve it a little bit different. So when we were given looking for C, we added them. But since it's B, we have to do a little bit of solving like an equation. So we're going to minus to get B alone. So I'm left with B squared. And so now I've got to do 25 squared minus 7 squared. And that gives me 576. Then we'll square root it. And we get 24. So B equals 24. Number 5. So let's label. So there's my hypotenuse, so my C. We have A and B. And again, it doesn't matter what you label A and what you label B. because we'll solve it the exact same way. So we'll plug everything in. So this time I'm going to solve for A. Okay, so when we're looking for C, we add. When we're looking for A or B, we subtract. So I'm going to go ahead and subtract 16 squared minus 13 squared, which is 87. Then we're going to square root it, and we get 9.3. So A equals 9.3. And then the last one we're going to look at is number 6. So again, let's label A, B, and C. So my C is my hypotenuse across from the 90-degree angle. And then we'll label A and B. Then we'll plug everything into our formula. So this time I'm going to solve for A. So looking for, solve for B. So since I'm solving for B, again, we're going to subtract them. So we're going to do 22 minus 18 squared, which is 160. And then we're going to square root it. And so we get 12.6.